1. Live from the internets, it is the Crystal Chronicles, the Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia unofficially official podcast. I am not Pierre, I am Mark, and I am joined by my co-host, Mino. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone. And thank you for joining us for episode 35 this December 27th, 2018. We were talking a little bit about holidays over the holidays, and we both enjoyed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but this is not the Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel Properties podcast. This is a Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast, and boy, do we have some things to talk about today. So, a couple housekeeping things. All of you who are listening and joining us live, if you are on the Rev HP Twitch channel, if you are on the Rev HP Twitch channel and you are chatting with us, feel free to jump over to the Crystal Chronicles Twitch channel. I just posted the Rev HP Twitch channel in the Rev HP Twitch channel. That didn't make any sense. So feel free to jump over to the Crystal Chronicles Twitch channel, and we are chatting with you live as we podcast tonight. If you are listening at home, you can always join us on Twitch at the Crystal Chronicles. And so we hope to see you around when we do our live streams. So a few things in the news today. We had over the last week a new weekly banner, which was half price for Warrior of Light, Jecht, and Edge. And of course, what we're going to talk about many, many times tonight is the Selphie event and banner, which launched. But we also got, and I don't know if you picked it up, Mino, the new limited time costume package, Squall Seed uniform.
Of course I did.
Of course you did.
I needed the gems. I'm broke now. I'm really regretting how much money I spent. This fucking Square. They know what they're doing. You know what you're doing, Joshua. I bought two $37 packs and the $75. So I think I spent almost $150 on DFFOO this holiday season, and I did it because I was like, Christmas bonus justifies it. I completely regret doing it, 100%. But I'm enough of my salt. I had plenty of that last week, so continue.
Yeah, so there are some known issues, and I've not run into this, but maybe you have. Descriptions for passive abilities obtained from artifacts may not be displayed under certain circumstances. This is purely a visual issue. It does not impact actual artifact passive abilities. So I have no idea who has run into that or what that means. So if you don't, we can move on. Any issue with that, Mino?
No, I never even. Yeah. You know me. I'm not an artifact chaser. I think you're the same. You're the same as me, right?
No, I try to grind artifacts occasionally. Yes.
I only enhance artifacts when I get them. I never run extra co-ops to do it.
Right.
Or spend SP for it. Yeah. I'm terrible. I'm a bad metagamer.
Yeah, I do not use my stamina unless I'm grinding for summon or something like that. I don't generally use my stamina very effectively. But that's how it is.
I let it run out because I'm a lazy bastard.
Yeah. So we also got some news, not in-game, but I saw on Reddit that we did complete all of the Final Fantasy Portal rewards. So
Hooray.
So we're going to get a whole bunch of free stuff from the FF Portal campaign. So if you are a Final Fantasy Portal user, thank you for all your hard work. And
do you have the rewards on hand, Mark?
I do not.
I just know the top tier is 25 of each high shard, so that's really
I
nice.
should probably be able to pull it up pretty easily. It was a news thing at some point. Yeah, but I don't see it.
If it's gonna take too long,
No, I got it right here. I
okay.
got it right here. Let me see. So 50 higher power orbs, 50 higher guard orbs, 15 draw tickets, 15 armor tokens, and 25 of each high shard. So
That's
yeah.
not bad. I need more armor tokens because my count.
Oh yeah,
I'm
really?
at 131 now, and I don't like it to be that.
I need more armor tokens. I'm at 131?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like being that low.
I'm at 98 and I feel like I have too many. So yeah.
They go quick. Whenever a
do go
character
quick.
comes out that I want, like Selphie,
Yeah.
that's like 10 down the drain right there.
Oh yeah, no, I
And
did Selphie.
if it's and if it's awakening character, like let's say Warrior of Light that didn't
Yes.
have an event, that's like 20 down the drain right there. So I feel like I only really have enough for 5 or 6 characters.
No, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. How much are the second set of armor going to cost? Are they still 5
The
each?
same amount? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you have to have
you need an MLB of the first set.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's a big investment.
All right. Well, you're going to get all those rewards at some point in the future. Thank you, all of you FF Portal players. And we also got Squall Stickers. Did you realize that? I don't even remember it being announced.
I did. I read the news notices, so
I
knew they were coming. But I still haven't bought them yet. Eventually, I will.
Yeah, I got one of them. They are, in case you're wondering, hello, thanks, later.
TSD Loner is correcting us, saying 20 armor tokens for a tier 2 armor.
Oh.
Yeah, that's confirmed. Okay, we're completely wrong. Thank you, viewers. Once again, we rely on you.
Well,
so
Mino's right.
20 armor tokens. But from what I hear from my friends playing JP, armor tokens only get more and more plentiful as time goes on. So actually, you know what? I don't feel bad at all hoarding 130 armor tokens.
Yeah, they're not going to last long if you're talking 20 per. Yeah, that's 80 a set unless you get some free. But
yeah, because honestly, my rule of thumb is to only buy armor for when I hit the CP cap. And I don't do that for too many characters because I don't artifact.
You don't artifact grind. Yeah, so probably don't run into that very much. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with news underway, let's go to the topic of the hour, the event, with Trabia in mind. Or Trabia, however you want to say it. So, this was probably one of the... I don't know. I know you're not a big story guy, but this was probably one of the lighter and funner stories we've had in terms of event. You know, it wasn't particularly serious. It was pretty lighthearted all the way from start to finish, especially the Lightning and Sarah exchange where Lightning is just completely ticked off the entire time that this is happening.
By the way, thank you, Mark. I would not have known the story if I didn't watch his stream. And I knew it was coming. Like, that her whole thing would be based on her catchphrase.
Yes.
Booyaka! And, you know, honestly, as someone who played through FF8 exactly once, I don't think I remember anything else about Selphie. And people in the chat are saying it was a very Selphie moment.
It was.
It's right. Like, I think all I remember about Selphie is that she's hyperactive, talkative, and the catchphrase. And I think they nailed it. Is there more to her character? Am I missing something here? I feel like please tell me I am.
Yeah, no, there's some additional parts to her character. Remember, I mean, Selphie's the one who she's kind of the cheerleader of the group. She's the one that's kind of always encouraging everybody and getting people together. And
that's cool.
You know, she holds the whole celebration at the at the garden. She holds the whole party. That's like an entire side story where you go
Oh,
organize the
that's nice.
party.
Thanks for bringing those memories back. I usually
Yeah.
love characters like that, like
Yeah.
the heart.
Yeah, she's the she's kind of the heart of the group, and the encourager, the cheerleader of that group.
Crease here says also I noticed that events are starting to use event characters that haven't had their LC yet. That's new, isn't it? For cutscenes, I mean. Yes, it is. I
Hmm.
did hear that they do start doing that, and it looks like
Interesting.
it started. So that's a nice bonus. So if you're a fan of an event character, you don't have to wait for their LC to come out for them to participate in the story. Although it does help. Looking for through a lot of future cutscenes, it looks like the story characters do get like the lion's share of the cameos.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jecht shows up quite a lot in the future events, from what I've seen. But yes,
Kreese would be referring to Sarah, right? Is that who? In
no,
this?
Sarah's a story character, right? I'm
Oh,
trying to
Sarah's a
remember.
story
You're the
character.
one that went through the story. I'm pretty loose on the.
So you start out with Selphie, obviously. So she's in the cutscene, and then you go to Squall.
Zach
Zach
is
showed
what
up.
Creed
Oh,
said.
thank you. Yes, Zach
And
showed up.
Garton. Thank you for telling us
Yes.
because I was about to spend 5 minutes guessing.
Like going through like who the hell is? Yes, Zach. Yes, I saw some comments on Reddit and on Twitter about yes, the Aerith Eris Zach Cloud meetup there on that
Yeah,
story was pretty.
yeah. Apologies to Garton and Crease, who said it was obvious. It is my weekend, so I am drinking and I'm already buzzed. So you guys are gonna have to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, there you go. So make sure you're keeping us honest. All of those joining us on Twitch, and again, if you're on the Rev HP channel, come join us over at the Crystal Chronicles channel, and we'll be happy to chat with you here during the show. So yeah, I enjoyed that story. I thought it was fun, very selfie. Again, I do love Final Fantasy VIII. It is my favorite Final Fantasy, and
It is
enjoyed that.
interesting.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite of the
Actually,
entire
I think
series.
I should have guessed that when you said you were saving everything for Selphie and Squall.
Yeah.
For me, it's FF6, but none of their characters are ever good. Terra Terra is the exception, and then FF10, which I think actually does pretty all right.
Yeah, no, they're doing pretty good. Yeah, no, Final Fantasy VIII, and I love Final Fantasy IV is probably second for me, but
Great.
So
There's
it goes.
no overlap there. We cover a lot of
and
variety.
nine has a very special place in my heart because that was probably the first one that I really went all in, as kind of a 100+ hour completion game. So, but I went back. I went back and did 7 and 8 and 6 and 4 and all that kind of stuff again.
Nice. 9 is a game that I always, when I look back, I always score it lower, like above average. But when I play it again, I'm like, wow, this really was a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
But for some reason, it doesn't stick in my mind as much as 6 and 10. 6, I felt, had the best story of all of them. I love it to death. Even playing it, I don't know if it's nostalgia, but it holds up. And 10, as we were talking about in our Discord channel earlier today, it's very unique because they said that all RPGs are Western fantasy. They wanted to do an Asian fantasy world, and it was very unique, and it stood out, and I thought it was amazing.
I agree. Yeah. Well, I like them all. I mean, there's not been a Final Fantasy game I have hated. I like the entire series, but I do rate some higher than I rate the others. But I rate a bad Final Fantasy game better than a lot of other games. So let's talk about Selphie. The issue with Selphie. No. What does she do, Mino? You want to walk us through a little bit of Selphie?
Sure. I'm trying to remember if there were some Oh yeah. Well, before we get into the character, how did you do on the banner? Oh well, yeah, I know. But how did you do on the banner?
Yeah. So you want to talk about about banner
Yeah,
stories?
because the audience, apparently the viewers, especially Kreese, was saying they were waiting for banner talk to talk about their luck.
Okay.
And I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah. Well, please.
let's cover each of the banners. And that's something Pierre would have done. First
Yes.
is the weekly banner with Wall and Edge. It was an amazing banner that I wanted to pull on and half off. But as everyone knows, I am broke after Titus EX, so even though
Yeah.
I wanted to pull on it, I could not afford even a half off pull.
What? Why were you
Did you
pull?
pull on it?
Don't you have all of those characters?
it, I don't have Edge 35, which I think is nice to have,
Yeah.
and I only have 135 of Warrior of Light, and I
Yeah.
would like more of him because I actually awakened him. But
Sure.
I know that in the interlude with Cait Sith, he's also coming up, so
Yeah.
it's just smarter to wait.
Yeah. I don't have like anything on this banner, so it's not a bad banner for me to pull on. But I have not pulled on it yet. Excuse me. So yeah, that is a good banner, and that is a half price banner. But the banner of the hour is Selphie, Thranced, Thancred,
How
and
did you
Squall.
how did you do?
Yeah, so I actually streamed last night my polls, and I had said because we right before I started streaming, we got Pierre's poll, and I don't have it right in front of me. But Pierre shared a one multi pool with us. He did one 5,000 gem pool. On that banner, he got what? He got both of Selphie's weapons
And the EX
and
and Squall
and
EX.
Squall's EX. He got like five stars. Among the
He
five
won.
five stars was Squall's EX and both of Selphie's, including the 35. So I was not looking forward, especially because I generally don't do good. I don't seem to do good when I stream polls and do live polls. So yeah, so I was not sure how I was going to do, but this is how I ended up doing, and you can watch it on my Twitch and on my YouTube and watch for yourself. But I pulled 20 tickets first, so I did 20 tickets. In those 20 tickets, I got two Squall EXs.
What the fuck? I hate you so much.
So 20 tickets, I got two Squall EXs.
Oh God.
Then I did two multi pulls, and I got Thancred's 35 CP, Squall's 35 CP, which I already had, and that's pretty much it. It was pretty much a wash. Then I did four more tickets. I did two tickets, 3-star. The next ticket I got Selphie 15 CP, and I freaked out like every other streamer on this event because it shows her picture, and so you thought it was her 35. But it's a unique weapon, so they both have her picture on it. Like this is not just me. I have watched I think Broadway Saiyan and Smelly Octopus and several other streamers. I don't have all their information, but have lost their minds, and then oh crap, it's her 15 CP.
Lost
So
their minds on a 35? I think the odds of that are pretty high, right? Like
yeah, no, but
15% or something?
they were because everybody's looking for Selphie's 35, and so excited when they
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
So ticket number 3 or 23, depending on your count. I got Selphie's 15, and then the very next ticket, I got Selphie's 35.
So basically,
24 tickets.
all the hosts, yeah,
Yeah.
all the hosts on TCC got pretty lucky. I had the worst luck, but I still feel like I was pretty lucky. One, I had to buy 25k gems, okay? Because as everyone know, I went broke
Yeah.
with Titus EX. Oh, shout out to Edogawa. So he tagged me on a comment because last week I said I spent 145k gems and 50 tickets chasing Titus EX. No luck. Can anyone can anyone please make me feel better by saying they hit a harder rock bottom? And he tagged me in a comment today. Thank you, Edogawa. I'll always appreciate it. Someone chased it for 165k gems and 100 tickets. So they obviously spent more than me, but I also paid $37 for 10k gems and still struck out. So I think
Yeah.
it's a tie
Yeah.
on who did worse. But anyway, so the point is I went into this banner broke. I bought 25k gems because I'm stupid, and I ended up pulling Selphie's 35 in 3 pulls, so 15k gems, which is pretty decent
Yeah,
odds
that's pretty
because
good.
I've seen far worse, but I've also had by far the worst luck of the TCC hosts.
Yes.
So, but either way, I think we all made out like bandits. So I'm gonna say bless RNGesus this holiday.
Yeah, I think. Well, I have. So we'll get to uh, some comments here. If you guys want to share what you pulled here in the comments, we'll share that. But so I was looking at kind of polls and seeing who was doing what. I did see a lot of people, and this is going to be part of the question of the week next week. You know, a lot of people getting salty on not getting the EX for very minimal number of tickets and gems, and that kind of drives me crazy. But I did see a lot of people in the range of, I would say, 50 to 75,000 gems and like 100 to 150 tickets not get Selfies 35.
I
So
think that's actually average odds, right?
yeah,
Again, I don't have the game open in front of me, but
yeah, which is probably not, not terrible, but it is, frustrating because there's a lot of people that would struck out on the 35, not just the EX. I did see someone who spent 90,000 gems and 500 tickets to finally get the Squall EX. So if that person struck out, you definitely be salty. So yeah, 90,000, but they did get it. They eventually got it on the 500 ticket, I guess. So, but
I
500
I
tickets,
get it
that's a
if
lot.
Squall's a favorite,
That's a lot.
but honestly, his EX, as everyone has said multiple times, is very skippable. The only big benefit it gives you is that it gives Squall a framed buff that increases his attack and max brave, right?
Right.
Rev,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it here in a second, but it's not
It just makes him hit harder.
what's everybody saying? It's a quality of life. It's a quality of life. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, honestly, even the animation is really crappy. Let's be honest. I've
Yeah,
seen so many co-op, and the animation sucks.
it's not the most
It is
exciting.
basically his regular brave attack
Yeah.
repeated several times.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if you're a Squall fan, you're not missing out on much if you skip this EX.
Right. Well, Kreese says, I went into Selfie Banner with 35k gems and no tickets. Told myself I was going to pull until I got Selfie 35 and any Squall weapons would be gravy. I spent it all unable to do so. Just scroll down here. I spent it all unable to do it, but I got Squall 35, my first ever, and 2 Squall EX. Congratulations. Bought Squall costume, got Selfies 35 on the next multi-poll. Very good. Congratulations. Edogawa says 2 pulls, 2 Selfie 35, 1 Squall 15, and 1 Squall EX. Can't complain there. Yeah. So yeah, if anybody else wants to share what you got, please do. But
Please
yeah.
do. And also, Mark, I want to field this question because I have 2 friends in real life playing this game.
Yeah.
Well, one super lucky, but one did not get the EX weapons for Noctis or Squall, their favorite characters, and they're a little salty. And I told them that my attitude is I'm just gonna pull once on every banner. If I get an EX, so be it. But
Right.
I think the best way to play is to not aim for an EX. This might sound hypocritical from the guy who spent 145k chasing Tidus EX, but
Who better? Who better? Who better to teach us?
But looking forward to the schedule, unless we get a huge mix, like a huge shakeup, like Tidus EX coming 3.5 months early,
right.
I don't think any EX is game breaking enough to do it. So I really think that you shouldn't be too. They're not even good EXs, and I say this as someone who has some favorite characters like Kane coming up. Kane EX is not worth it, and I'm only gonna throw 1 pull at it. But Mark, are you aiming for any EXs coming up?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, like you said, I think I'm going to pull on characters that I like and like main characters. Like I said, I think having the main character stuff is good. The main protagonists. Terra, Von, Warrior of Light, Cloud, Squall, etc. Right? But yeah, I'm not sure that I'm gonna ever chase an EX. I was pulling for Selphie's 35 with hopes to get Squall EX, and I'm not sure. I mean, I probably would have used everything I had. I probably would have gone all in on this banner if I hadn't got Selphie's 35. But if I had gotten Selphie's 35 after 25,000, 30,000, 40,000, even 50,000 gems, 100 tickets, I probably wouldn't have gone in and continued to chase Squall's EX. Yeah. But yeah, it's just the rate, the drop rates are so low. It's going to be tough. And the drop rates for the 35 and the 15s are quite a bit better now. So,
Yes.
it seems like that's decent, and we're going to get the thing. So you can still use the characters and awaken them and play with them and have a good time. Whereas one of the other games that we were talking about beforehand, Epic 7 that I play, the drop rates are, and it's characters, so you have to pull for characters, and the drop rates are atrocious. I mean, I think it's less than 1% for a 5-star character.
Yes,
And
I quit after a day.
It's ridiculous. I mean, and I don't, I don't have any connection to anything, so I don't care. But if I did, if that was a Final Fantasy game, I wouldn't be playing it at all.
Yeah. But and it helps that the quote unquote meta team, again, everyone's saying let's see which direction GL goes in.
Yeah.
But if it remains Cait, Selphie, and Lael, they just need 35s, which are a lot easier to chase. You do not need EX weapons to complete content for a long time if we follow that meta.
Right, and remind me, but the first time that the EX really became a necessity was Kefka, right?
Kuja.
Oh, Kuja. Okay, Kuja's Lost Chapter.
That's when they started designing
around the EX.
The characters with EX in mind. Yes.
Yeah.
And they, as JP players say, when Cosmos difficulty hits.
Yes.
But the theory is, are we gonna get the next difficulty early, just like we got EXs like 3 months early? That's the real question. But that's a good segue into how Selphie works. Shall we move on?
Please, let's talk about Selphie.
Great. Okay, so I'll lay the basic premise down, and then you can add whatever you want, Mark, because I think you've been experimenting with Selphie quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I don't tell my wife that, but yeah.
I was thinking that as soon as I said it, as soon as it left my mouth. But so the draw of Selphie is she is basically an awakened version of Lilithset. Everything that everyone found great about Lilithset is true of Selphie times 2 because she's actually level 60. Like Lilithset's draws were that none of her attacks or none of her abilities relied on enemy defense because they're all batteries and brave multipliers.
Right.
And Selphie's the exact same thing. Her drain works exactly like Lilithset's whirling daggers, which is like it's a brave multiplier, and then her wall is a battery, so just like her sensual dance. So none of it worries about the enemy. The thing is that a lot of audience members have asked me to cover this, which is Selphie overrated? And at the risk of being burned at the stake, I am going to say yes, because as part of the meta trio of Cait, Selphie, Lael, Selphie's actually the least important member of that team. There are so many JP players, because again, so I talk to Triple Break a lot, and Triple Break is known on the Reddit to lead the JP meta, but a lot of them started after Selphie and did not get Selphie, and all of them said that they could have completed 100% of the content with just Cait Sith. Cait Sith alone carries that team comp. Lael helps, and Selphie's just there for extra support. And what Selphie provides is she provides a little bit of everything. She's like a jack of all trades. She has some heals, some battery, some damage reduction, and some debuff evasion. So a little bit of everything to make your job easier. Obviously, heals to hit the score, debuff evasion to hit the score, and her debuff evasion is 60%, by the way. I hear a lot of people asking that.
Yeah.
60% is the least out of everyone because Wall has 75% and Lena has 100, but Selphie applies it to everybody and is not Lena. So, and it's a battery and it reduces damage. So
Yeah, right,
again,
right, right.
it's like a red mage thing, right? She does a little bit of everything, which really complements every team. And also in Japan, which we might get a different timeline. The reasons why Selphie was so good and outlasted even Cait, Sith, and Lael is her Int Brave buff that doubles Int Brave, increases it by 100% because she works with more characters like that. Even if you don't want to run Cait, Sith, and Lael with her, uh, the Int Brave thing helps so many characters. Most Brave batteries run on Int Brave,
Right.
and doubling that is amazing. For right now, I think Kryl is Selphie's best partner. If you pair Fully Awakened Kryl with Selphie, she is battering for an insane amount. And also that as more and more characters get Brave regen, for example, if you're someone who has Cloud EX or Lightning Awakened and you pair them with Selphie and double their Int Brave, they regen practically 80% of their Brave in one go every turn. And they're pretty much topped off every turn. And
Right.
that's what makes Selphie so good. She's not a she's not a button for an automatic win. Like you're not going to slot her anywhere and get amazing results. But if you plan a team around her that utilizes her Int Brave, which is her most valuable asset, so people with huge regens, Ramza's coming up, that's going to have a huge Int Brave regen. You have Cloud EX, you have Lightning, then they're pretty much going to be topped off every turn. And that's the strength of Selphie. And at the risk of rambling on too much, the biggest draw she has in the Cait, Lael, Selphie meta is that her aura is really strong. Her level 50 is a 15% boost to Max Brave and Int Brave. So she benefits every battery. Every battery is either going to scale off Int Brave, Max Brave, or attack. Her
Right.
level 50 aura is Int Brave and Max Brave 15%, which is more than Lilithset, right? Lilithset is 10% to every stat.
Yep.
Selphie is 15% to just Int Brave and Max Brave, and 15 more percent if you invest in the artifacts. And then she has another passive, the crystal level 54 passive, that further boosts the. Help me out here, Mark. Is it attack and Max Brave by 10%? Let me look that up.
Now that you say that.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Let me get the crystal thing. I gotta get to the crystal screen.
Yeah, I was
see
not.
that.
Here I got it. So the 54 is when she's buffed, she raises attack and M Brave by another 20%. So she potentially raises attack by 20, Int Brave by 25, and Max Brave by 50%. And that's her true value, is that just by being on the field, her aura vastly increases Int Brave, Max Brave, and attack. That's why she's on the team. She's only on the team so that Lael and Cait Sith battery much harder.
Yeah.
And she's a decent battery by herself, and then the damage reduction and the heals and everything. So she's actually the least important member. But so if you want to utilize her, you really have to think about team comp. But she's very good. But if you're looking for a one-man carry,
Cait that's Sith, not it. Oh yeah,
Cait Sith is going to be the one to single-handedly carry the entire team.
Yeah.
So, Mark, from your using of her, what do you?
Well, I don't have a healer, and I don't have Lena, so yeah, I'm really happy with Selphie because there's a lot of that utility that I didn't have in my stable. So, for example, I have not gotten the 1,000 gems for Chapter 11 hard.
What?
No. And I probably could have gone back and did it, but I couldn't get the HP requirement because I didn't.
You didn't have a healer.
I don't
Did
have.
you try Eiko?
I did, and she just doesn't pump it out fast enough until she gets a little more buffed. Her regen is just not as strong enough. The damage it's doing. So Selphie, on the other hand, she had no problem with that. She, I didn't take any damage before I got to the final boss, and then she was able to heal up the final boss stuff pretty easily. So, that helps.
You tried her in chapter 11. Good to know, because I think you hit something on the head there. Is she's good enough to be a main healer, because although she doesn't heal as hard as the others, she also has wall there to reduce the damage incoming and make it a lot easier. So I think that's Selphie's big thing, is being the red mage of supports. Yeah. Damage reduction, healing, debuff, evasion, battery. She does it all.
So I think she, like you said, she has some utility. And of course, I like Squall a lot. He's one of my favorite characters, and she pairs with Squall really nice. So
well. I've seen in co-ops people having access to plus moves at Max Brave, and it's really nice.
Well, I mean, you think about it. So, I mean, let's just talk about the numbers there. So people were asking earlier in the chat, does Selphie work with Squall, because you don't want Squall's, in Brave to be so high, right? Well, let's just look at Squall, see if I can get Int Brave here. So buffed in the event, my Squall has an Int Brave of 2200. And how does the power works? 250%, right?
Yes.
So your Int Brave, your current Brave, has to be less than 250% of your Int Brave for you to be able to have the plus Solid Barrel plus Rengoku. I can't say it without looking at it. Renzokuken plus abilities. So 250% of 2,000 is what? 6,500, something like that. I'm not good at math.
were you pausing for me to answer? Yeah. No, close enough.
55.
It's like 5K basically.
Yeah. So I mean, you're more than doubling it. Yeah, and so you're able to have those plus abilities with a considerable amount of initial Brave. So, and that just makes it easier to hit that Solid Barrel max. It certainly helps when you're in summon, or when you're having hit your EX, if that's the thing that you have. So she does partner with him very well, and there's going to be other characters that she partners with. But yeah, you have to be, 55K. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So outside of Synergy, because I've only been playing the event, you've tried them outside of Synergy. So outside of Synergy, how do you feel about Selphie right now outside of Synergy?
Well, like I said, she did something that I needed her to do. So, if you're in a case where you need that specific skill set, she's going to be good. Probably not going to be somebody who's always on your party. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so, though.
Right. And JP, she didn't hit top tier status until Cait came out for the comp reasons. But for anyone who hasn't tried it, Selphie works so well with so many of the top tier characters right now, because so many of the top tier characters have Brave regens. Right. Terra has a huge Brave regen. Cloud has a huge Brave regen. Lightning does. If you guys can think of anyone else, but Brave regens are all over the place for the top tier characters right now.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I don't know that you should be spending 300,000 gems or 500 tickets to get her 35 CP, but yeah, Kree says slow too. So
the takeaway here is, if you missed out on Selphie's 35, it's not the end of the world. I would say, save for Cait Sith, if you miss him, that's the end of the world, and we'll get to that in a future episode. But he's basically everything in one package, and an incredibly overpowered character, almost like a second coming of Saz, almost.
Yeah.
But he's everything in one package. So Selphie is not the end all be all, but she is very relevant, as in that her unique gimmick is that she empowers brave regions. She
Yeah.
doubles brave regions. So think about that and think about how much brave Terra and Cloud regen, and it gets pretty nuts.
It does.
And I believe, Mark, you said you wanted to reassess Squall. What do you think about the new Squall?
Yeah, so I mean, Awakened Squall, we talked about him last week. He's pretty great. And he's real relevant right now, even with Tidus's EX going on. So, but let's talk about Sheer Trigger and its ability, Sleeping Lion's Roar, which Mino doesn't care for the animation, but it gives you the Assault Trigger, which is an 8-hit Brave attack plus HP attack, and gives you self Lionheart 1. If you have it fully limit broke, it gives you self Lionheart 2, which increases what? Remind me. Do you know off the top of your head?
Attack and Max Brave, I
Yeah,
believe.
attack. I believe you are correct. Attack and Max Brave. So it gives Squall another self buff, which is certainly, doesn't hurt him to get those self buffs. All of the characters can use that, right? But yeah,
Yes.
it's not AoE. I think that's the first thing to realize. Um, Renzo Kukin already gives those same things, and so it does stack with that because it is a framed thing. So that is nice. So he is doing a lot more damage, but it is a single target attack. It is a slow recast time, so you're not going to get tons of them off. It's certainly nowhere near. It's nowhere near Tidus. It is the same speed as Terra, right?
Does anyone else have experience with it? I want to say maybe 3 abilities to a recast.
Yeah. Terra's is kind of like that. So you're getting it every fourth turn or every third turn. Clouds, just to give you a sense, Clouds is normal, right? And Tidus is fast, correct? So Tidus is every other
I think
turn.
Cloud is also fast.
Tidus or Cloud, it says Cloud is recast normal, but does it not tell you when it?
Oh, is it? Does it say recast normal? I
It
thought it was normal cast normal
yeah,
and recast
it
fast. 'Cause
says
recast is always.
It says recast normal, but then it could possibly be made more because of the limit break. So Meteor Rain recast up, but it doesn't show you anything. So if you're
Garland
looking,
says Squall's recast is the same as Noctis's, so that is about roughly I think 3 abilities. I
right,
think.
yeah. And the Lionheart is like 5 or 6 turns, so it's
Yeah,
definitely giving
it's
you
nice.
that everything. And
It's another
again,
20.
so I think it's as everyone has been saying, I think it's a quality of life. I don't think it's breaking anything. It's going to make things easier, right? It's going to give you I ran out of abilities on Squall in this current EX.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna agree with you there. I was gonna say Squall could use it for more abilities because Squall runs out fast. I feel like Squall's even more of a burst character than
right,
Vaughn is because if you have all his passives equipped, he is taking a lot of turns. He's
he's
stealing
moving quick.
turns.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I've had support Squalls go like 2-3 times in a row.
yeah,
So the EX helps him get a few more turns of usability. So if you're a Squall fan, I do not think it's that's my recommendation. If you like a character, their EX is always good. That's what I'm always gonna say.
yeah. All right. So if you got it, use it. If you didn't, I don't think you should lose any sleep over it. But looks pretty. Other than
You say
that,
that, but weren't you gunning for that, Mark?
well, I wanted it. Yeah, I don't think I would be crying today if I didn't get it. I'm very happy I got it. Squall is definitely one of my favorite characters. So, and he's a character. He's one of my favorite characters who is good in this game because there are several other of my favorite characters in this game who currently I am not able to use, like Belthier and Oron, and there's a couple others. But
Well, you'll be happy because I know that when Oron EX comes out, he's actually quite good if
Yeah.
you have his EX.
Right.
A lot of my characters stay shit, so
Yeah.
you're fine.
That's nice to know. Yeah. So let's go to the co-op or coop, as everybody else says. Level 70. It is 2 Coeurl assassins. And the team that you bring in is 3 Squalls, right?
Exactly. I was gonna say the same thing. I've almost never. It's always Squalls or Selphies, and that's it. That's all I've.
So I think the high score, 3 Squalls, 1 Selphie, and 2 Squalls. I've occasionally seen Thancred, and that usually doesn't help too much. And I like Thancred.
You've seen Thancred?
Yeah,
Wow.
occasionally
I wish
I've
did.
seen a couple Thancreds. Yeah, he doesn't get to act very much with 2 Squalls though, so poor Thancred. And I don't know if I've seen fully Limit Bro, fully awakened Thancreds. I wasn't paying attention that much, but I would hope if you're bringing him into the event, he would be pretty decent, but maybe not. And I have Thancred's weapons, but they are not max limit broke, so I've not gotten a lot of time to mess around with him because I do kind of like his character. So his mechanics in the game. I don't really care about his character one way or the other. So I'm not a big fan of Fantasy 14 person. But he who sings of love. Let's just leave it there. So
If
yeah,
I had infinite white crystals, infinite white high shards, I would test them out. But
yeah, exactly right. That's kind of where.
Sorry, Thancred.
That's kind of where I am with that. So. Yeah, so I mean, co-op seems to be pretty easy. I haven't really. They seem a little less powered than their level 95 counterparts. So, yeah, you got 1 or 2 Squalls. You know, it doesn't matter what you bring in. 2 Squalls is going to take the fight without much of a problem.
This is the same as the Elise event, which is basically it's supposed to be difficult, but everyone has the most meta character, so it doesn't seem difficult. Like I think the Elise event is difficult if you didn't have like 3 Terras everywhere, destroying it.
Exactly.
But and see, so this brings me to the EX, which I'll go first, and then you can go because I know you did better than I did. So you're the expert opinion on it. But basically, in the EX camp, there's a lot of people on Reddit and Discord that are divided into 2 camps. People either say it's very difficult or not difficult at all. And the people who say that it's not difficult at all are usually packing an MLB Squall plus Selphie. The word going around, and I don't know if this is exaggeration or not, is that you cannot get you cannot hit the score requirement for the EX without Squall or Selphie in some form, whether that be your Squall plus friend Squall, or your Squall plus your Selphie, or your Selphie plus friend Squall. Either way, people are saying you need that combination. And Vaughn is a good alternative because instead of the defense that Selphie brings, Vaughn can blind. But if anyone's tackled the EX, you'll know that the final boss, it's scary to get broken. They have a max brave of 20,000.
Yeah.
And they have that AoE move, if you can remember the name, Mark.
Acid Mist.
Acid Mist that hits 5 times for around 1,000 damage each if you have no mitigation.
Yep.
And debuffs the hell out of you. And they do that very frequently, and they're very fast, and they cannot be debuffed by attack, max brave, or speed. So the word out there is, and I want to hear from the viewers, is that without Selphie and Squall, it's a very difficult fight. But because so many people have Selphie and Squall, half the people have been breezing through it as well. I did okay, not as good as Mark. I think I summoned too early. I summoned right away on that last wave, and I think that screwed me.
I did not do that. Yeah.
But Mark, how did you handle this?
Yeah. But again, I have a number of strategies that I've pulled off the internet for complete score runs. Now, there are strategies for just completes, like beat the event but not get the high score without Squall or Selphie. So realize you can beat the event without Squall or Selphie. But I'm going to share several setups for the 180,000 that you need to get all the score requirements. All right. But here's what I did. I brought in. Who did I bring in? Where's my team? Yeah, I brought in Max, Limit Broke, EX, Costume Changed, Squall. Like my Squall is Top Shelf Squall. And then I brought Top Shelf Terra. And then I brought Max Limit Broke Selphie 6060 with Bahamut. I brought Bahamut instead of Efreet just because. Why not? I think you can use either fine. But I did bring Bahamut, and he seemed to help pretty good for me. I used Squall's abilities, especially Solid Barrel, before I got to the last fight. I pretty much walled Renzo Kutkin. How do you say that stupid thing? Renzo Kutkin.
Renzo Kutkin, yeah.
Renzo Kutkin. I have to say it like that. On the first wave and the second wave, I think I used Solid Barrel, kill the skeletons, take them down. The third wave is that Malboro and the Avian.
The third wave is tough. I want to hear how you handled it.
The third wave is tough.
I think it's like a. I don't remember what the normal version is called. It's a fucking bird. It's based off the new, I think, and then a Marlboro.
I have to stop you. On Twitch, Macnol says it's pronounced Renzo Titus.
That's really good. And while we're addressing Twitch, so we don't get too behind, to address some of these comments, Cree says Thancred is good, but it's just that he takes more setup than Cloud or Terra, which, yes, is his big weakness, is the setup that he requires.
Right.
The reason why he has amazing Brave Shave ability, but the reason why he ends the 60 era low tier is because you have to apply poison to each of his targets, and you can only apply poison individually. There's no AoE poison. So every time he attacks, you need to apply the poison first and then hit. And that's why he is rated so low, sadly.
Right.
And then someone else says, here we go. Garton says, after I completed with full synergy team, I returned with maxed EX Cloud, max EX Terra, and Rem. Yeah. Didn't even clear it. It is super tough without Squall and Selphie, which I completely agree.
Wow, that's.
And Garton says Zoo, and yes, that's what the fucking big.
Yeah, bird. it's a Garuda. But yeah, it's the same. It's a flying thing, right?
Garuda. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, Crease is the same thing I did. Once I saw our Marlboro was there, I didn't even let it get a turn.
Nope.
So
neither.
I focused it down. That's where I called my friend Squall. I don't know where you called it, but that's where I called it. So.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. No, I did not call my friend. I believe I solid barreled, drained, and then used one of Terra's abilities. Or I may have recast
and
Wall.
Got the kill there?
I was able to kill it, yeah.
Oh, okay. I needed double synergy Squall with solid barrel to kill it. I think I can clean that run up. But basically, I think most people agree you should kill the Marlboro before it gets bad breath off. But I've also seen people do it without.
Unless you're really lucky and you get that 60% and none of the debuffs stick, which is possible, but certainly not for me. But yeah, I was able to kill the Marlboro before it attacked, and then kind of whittled down the flyer pretty easily. And then you have a trash mob, which I just killed them straight up. I wasn't gonna because Squall needed to recast his buffs anyway, so I used another Renko. And did that. And so then you get to the two assassins. And I hate these things in Final Fantasy. And if you remember, the co-rolls in Final Fantasy VIII were particularly nasty because their paralyzed was so nasty. In that one of the final dungeons, I think you came across them quite often. I run
from them every fight in every Final Fantasy because they're fucking assholes who have instant death spells and paralyze. And I just don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. So, I basically kind of whittled them down together, and eventually when I got my Bahamut was ready to go, then I brought in my friend Squall for Terra, I think.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, because Terra was running low on abilities. So I brought them in for Terra and took them out kind of one at a time. And basically, it was just the two squalls going back and forth. Renzo, until my squall ran out of abilities, right? He had, like, to turn 31, I had to brave attack with my squall because I had no abilities. But I believe I was able to do it in, let me tell you.
You said 33 turns, I believe.
33 turns, no HP lost, 2 brave breaks for 226,439 points. So that was my run.
And as for comparison, people take the fucking brave breaks because I had 1 less brave break, but 2 more turns and got 10k less score.
Yeah, the
so
turns are more important.
Clearly, turns are way more important than brave breaks.
Yeah, so I have a couple other strategies, but you'll notice a common denominator. Lunarian 2 on, this is Reddit. These are Reddit folks. Squall without EX, Cloud Noctis, Friend Squall Bahamut 185. KKWA, Squall no EX, Lilizette Vaughn, Friend Squall Efreet 198 because Vaughn can blind them. DDX Me, Squall Cloud Titus with his EX, Friend Squall Efreet 189. Chicken Sopas, I don't know how you say that, but that's how I'm going to say it. Squall EX, Titus, Rem, Friend Squall Efreet 181. Kentudusu, Squall EX, Titus, Terra, all EX 181. And that was like a straight crazy run, 34 turns. And so you'll see the common denominator in all of those strategies is Squall. Now, I have seen several other runs for the 180,000 with Selphie plus 2 other DPS characters. Selphie Von Terra, Selphie Cloud Noctis, Selphie EXEX, right? So
right. We're all privileged, like I said. Everyone invested in Squall or Selphie. If anyone listening to this had any difficulty without Selphie or Squall, I completely understand. Please give us your story. But that seems to be the trend, which is this is a very synergy heavy EX. I think you either see a Squall, a Selphie, or a Vaughn.
Yeah.
In every run.
But again, we've talked about this before. I have seen several completions. All of the score, you need 75,000 to get the 100. You need take 9,000 less damage, 90 turns, no KOs. So I've seen several runs of around 100,000, 125,000 without either Squall or Selphie.
Even as a friend unit?
Well, yeah, you got to bring a Squall friend. I mean, just
because I'm saying even bringing a Squall friend, you could like one turn the first 2 waves.
Yeah, you gotta
or the
you gotta
third
bring,
wave.
right? You got to bring a Squall friend. You just
So I'm saying like they're necessary in one way or another.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a kind of a strict EX.
Yeah,
but also everyone has these fucking characters. And if you don't, you can at least bring a friend. But the ones that bring a friend have like a full EX team as well.
Yeah, no, yeah. So
people, if you could weigh in. Also, so reading off Kree says an advantage of the Coral bosses is you can predict their HP attacks based on their posture, which I did not know.
Yes.
He said he said they only do HP attacks while standing, not crouching. And I know there's a Redditor who tracks the boss behaviors, the AI behaviors, called the Sixth Celestial, that I feel is very underrated. His posts never get enough upvotes, but he maps out exactly how the boss will act. And I've used his post more than once. And he says, I was watching Masalento's stream this morning, and he couldn't clear the EX with a non-synergy team. Was trying with EX, Terra, Wall, and Rem. And that is true. So I think you either need a full EX team with a synergy assist or have some of the assist characters. And I feel like we're speaking from a privileged position, I think, Mark.
No doubt.
Because
no doubt.
Yeah, all of the TCC hosts MLB'd Squall and Selphie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is a divisive one.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think, people, again, I was able to do that without restarting, without resetting. I was able to do that without doing it more than once. So that was my initial run. That was a straight run. If I didn't have those characters, I would expect it to take a lot more time, a lot more patience to look at the, I completely forgot that they crouched and stood up. But if I didn't have those characters, I would expect to spend some time looking how the boss acts, what their moves are, how they impact me, all that kind of stuff. And hope.
Hey, is Bahamut gone, by the way?
Is Bahamut gone? Yes.
Is his... Yeah, so newer players wouldn't even have Bahamut.
Correct.
We're very privileged coming in from long-term players with a lot of weapons.
Yes. A newer player would not be able to access Bahamut. That is correct. But yeah, so I mean, the reality is, if you don't have the characters on the banner, it's going to be harder work if it's possible. And for the most part, it's been possible, right? I mean, we've been able to beat these events and even get the scores for the most part with a little bit of work.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like, it's tough. You'll hear a lot of people saying this EX was easy, but I feel like it's actually a difficult EX. Just longtime players knew to invest in these OP characters.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I would be very careful personally to say this EX that I beat with 2 of the 3 characters max limit broke, with one of them with an EX weapon, is easy, right? Because like, because that's just not a fair assessment of the, I know these the co-worlds are difficult creatures. This is a difficult event. They can be very, very deadly very quickly. But yeah, when you have the brute force and the power behind it, then and the banner character obviously makes a big difference, generally speaking, in the event. So, but yeah, we'll keep watching. I'm sure you're going to get some more strategies and some people being able to clear that 180 with some non-synergy teams, especially with a friend Squall EX help. So, but
Scarton says it's very similar to Lena EX. You needed Lena and or King. It's just this time so many people were already pulling for Squall and Selphie, which obviously, And I want to just finish this segment off saying the lesson here is that if you're a newer player or an unlucky player and you miss out on Selphie, it is not the end of the world. Cait Sith, guys, I'm putting that out there right now as my own opinion, is that Cait Sith is the make or break character. Do not kill yourself missing Selphie.
Yeah.
She's good to have, but not necessary. There's a lot of JP hype throwing people off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I got a question from Magnol, who's joining us on Twitch tonight. On Discord, he asked, I'm kind of paraphrasing his question, where are all the magic units? There seems to be a focus on physical damage dealers at the moment after Terra's Awakening. So just looking at the characters that we've gotten since the first Awakening. So Awakening number 1, Wave 1, we got Furion, Cloud, Terra, Mary, Professor S, and Warrior of Light. Obviously, Y'shtola didn't really shine, although, man, her EX is crazy, but it's super slow, but it's also crazy cool, but it's super slow, but it's also crazy, but we'll talk about that later. Shantoto, didn't really shine. Terra obviously shined a lot. And then going from there, we had Thancred. We had Jecht, Lilizet, and Yuri, which 2 physical damage dealers and a dancer. Then we had Vaughn, Tidus, Rem, Bart, Cecil, Yuna, really no damage dealing magic users.
Well, Vaughn in there is a magic dealer.
That is true. Yeah, we tend not to think of Vaughn as a magic user, but he does all magic attacks, right? So that is a good point. And then Noctis, Alisaie, Kryl. Then we've had Onion Knight, which is a synergy, he has magic and physical. Zidane, Ace, Lightning. Ace is magic. Lightning, Squall, Hope, and now Selphie, who's support, Thancred, and we're gonna have Ash, and Ash is magic. So, but yeah, it does seem we are weighted heavier on support and magic users. But Vivi's coming out. Awaken Vivi, I mean. Right? You're real excited about Vivi, right?
I hate Vivi. Well, that's a topic for next.
Oh, poor Vivi. I like Vivi. Yeah, so interesting observation on that. So next week, this is the question I want to pose to the community, and I will try to put out a post on Reddit too. So every time we have one of these EXs, Noctis EX, not so much Terra. I don't feel like people were going crazy on Terra's EX, right? But Noctis EX, Clouds EX. Who else am I missing? Titus EX. Now we're talking about Squall EX. I got to think what I'm doing here. There's always these folks on Discord, on Reddit, on Twitch, whatever. I used 3 tickets and I didn't get Squall's EX. What's wrong with the world, right? Now that's extreme. I'm not saying, but so how much, this is my question. How much do you have to spend before you have the right to be salty about not getting a specific weapon?
Oh, that's obvious, and that's been talked about since EX is launched. Statistically, you average an EX every 100k gems.
Yeah, right.
So when I see on these Reddit posts, oh, I spent 25k gems and didn't get an EX, this game's bullshit, I get so fucking mad. I can't believe there's so many people who don't understand basic math. And it's statistically 200 tickets to get an EX.
Yeah.
So basically, unless you've been saving over a month, you really have no right to an EX. You average 20 pulls for an EX. I did 27 and didn't get one. I have a right to be salty. Everyone who threw 5 to 7 pulls does not have the right to be salty, I think.
But yeah, so so again, you're talking from a standpoint of logic, and you may not know this. Humans are not particularly logical creatures.
That's fair.
We are storytelling monkeys, and and so I want to pose it to the community because I agree with you. I understand statistics because I had to take statistics in undergrad for my psychology degree.
I feel like everyone had to, right?
So I don't know if it was part of my degree, but I don't know. But anyway, I know from statistics how statistics work and how probability works on top of that. And so I feel like you do that. Yeah, if you spend 100, I feel like you last week have a right to be salty. You spent a lot and you didn't get what you wanted. I feel like that's a salty pull. But I don't feel like spending 25,000 gems or 50 tickets or 25 tickets or 15 tickets or 10,000 gems or one pull. I've gone down to at least I spent 5,000 gems and 10 tickets and I didn't get Squall's EX. I'm not on video here, but if you could see me, I'm flustered. I'm what? Okay, so I want to get a sense from the community. So not statistically, but in your feels, in your emotions.
That's a very good. So that's the question of the week you're posing.
Yeah, so how much do you feel like you should have to invest before you can be salty about a pull gone wrong?
And vice versa, to switch the question around is basically how much are you personally willing to invest to chase an EX, I feel like is a more objective way to put it.
Okay.
And we'd love to hear from you. But also, just to backtrack a little bit, Mark, I didn't get a chance to weigh in on Macnell's question, which is,
yes,
do you
please.
feel the cast is more physically tilted right now than Magic? And I want to say no, just because everyone knew Terra and Vaughn.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has at least one of Terra and Vaughn. At least long-time players have a Terra or a Vaughn ready. Because he was concerned that they'll throw Heretics at us next Awakening, which is scheduled January 1st. I mean, wow, January 9th. is the next awakening wave, and he's concerned that they'll throw heretics at us because we are overdue for heretics.
We
There
are.
was actually supposed to be a heretics for this wave, but for some reason, Square Enix did not give Global a heretics for wave 3. My personal theory is that they want to make high shards easier to obtain through community co-ops
Yeah.
rather than going through heretics, because I know
Yeah.
wave 1 heretics got a lot of complaints. I think
Yeah.
you've seen
Oh, yeah.
that a lot of people are like, why is it locked behind the hardest content?
Yeah, we talked
So,
about that, right?
yeah, let's see if GL changes it up. I really miss Heretics
Yeah.
because I feel no pressure awakening new characters without Heretics,
No, that
to be
I
honest.
completely agree. I mean, I am sitting as of right now. I am sitting, and I think you're probably in a similar spot. I am sitting on 5 awakened characters. So I have Cloud, Vaughn, Terra, Squall, and Selphie. So now everybody's awakened to Crystal Strength 51, and everyone's leveled up to
Oh,
level 60. But fully awakened, I've got 5. I've got one of each of the 5 of the 6 crystals. So I have 5 of the 6 crystal colors and 5 characters awakened. And if there were heretics, right, I may be more. I may have been more willing to, awaken Thancred, or awaken Hope, or awaken Yuna, or awaken
exactly.
Bartz, or awaken Titus, or Lightning, or any of these other
Exactly.
characters. I have, I have access to fully limit break, or I have fully limit break. But yeah, I mean, you look at the list of our awakened characters. So I have both of Hope's weapons. I have both of Dark Knight Cecil's weapons. Cecil. I have Yuna fully limit broke. I have both of Bartz's weapons. I have both of Onion Knight's weapons. I have Shantoto fully limit broke. I have Titus fully limit broke. I have Lightning fully limit broke. I have both of Thancred's weapons. I have both of Noctis's weapons. I have both of Alisae's weapons, and I have none of them awakened. So
Yes. And I feel like I prepared for this too. I prepared for like 2 awakenings each wave,
mm-hmm.
but they've actually been skimping us on these heretics, so I felt no pressure. I think last wave I just did Bond. And
Right.
I think this wave I just did Squall.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like that's all. Like I keep saving them because I'm like heretics has got to come sooner or later.
Right.
We're gonna be forced to use these synergy characters, but no, they've been sparing us. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Kreese agrees with me that maybe they're making it easier in GL to get these high shards by eliminating heretics and just putting it all on the co-op. And I personally I would dislike that. Maybe the community as a whole that benefits, but I kind of want to challenge with these awakening characters. I don't know if I'm speaking from a privileged position,
Well,
but
or maybe
these
not every awakening, but every other awakening. To have that,
yeah,
somewhere,
because I feel like these EXs are not enough to test my awakened characters.
or
I
have
want those heretics.
yeah. I mean, have heretics that right, yeah. Challenge you to use just awakened characters or something like that, right? I mean, find a new way to kind of focus on that. But then again, yeah, if
but
then I just use my 6 awakened characters over and over again.
exactly
Right.
right. And so to circle back to Macnol's question is that I don't think magic is ignored. I think everyone has at least Vaughn or Terra, if not both. And if there's trouble, again, when a heretic hits, the featured characters will be on the banner,
Right.
so people can always desperation pull for it. But
Yeah.
I think the first 2 awakenings skewed heavily towards magic, and
Yeah.
now it's just going back to physical. So I don't feel like it's out of balance just yet. Next wave is I was telling Mark on Discord, I feel like everyone on the next wave is a good candidate for awakening except for Vivi, which we'll get into in the future.
Poor Vives.
Back to you. Yeah, back to you, Mark.
Well, and just looking at my 5 awakened characters, I have 2 physical, 2 magic, and 1 support. So pretty
Right,
pretty
it's not
balanced.
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty balanced awakened cast for me at least. So yeah, well, thank you everybody, and thank you Macnol for that question. Look for our question of the week next week on Reddit and Discord, and feel free to tweet us at FFTCC podcast is our Twitter, and we're on Facebook as well, and Twitch and YouTube and many things. And I'm starting Skype for no reason. That's not going to help at all. Just starting Skype ever doesn't
Before we
help.
go, Mark, do you have a question of the week to pose to our viewers before?
Yeah, no, that was talking about the polls. We already covered that. So yeah. So how much do you have to spend before you get to be salty about polls? Or as Mino also said, how much are you personally willing to invest to pull on EX? So that will be our question for next week that we will share various different ways. So upcoming events on the 30th of this month, which is coming up on Sunday night here in the United States, we have Ash Lost Chapters launching. And to remind, now people are going crazy assuming Von EX is going to be on this. We have not had an EX on a Lost Chapter banner. Correct?
If that happens, I'm fucked. I have less than 15k gems.
But I don't
two multiples.
I don't know why people are assuming that we're going to get Von EX on the Ash Lost Chapter when we've not had any EXs on any Lost Chapters to this point.
I think the assumption comes from the fact that if we followed the EX release schedule, by waves, Von should be coming next wave, but he's not. Because from the data mine, it's Y'shtola and Zidane.
Well, I had Von in my notes, which may not be accurate. I had Von on wave. Oh, what wave are we on? 1, 2, 3. I had Von on the wave with Papa, Ferris, Steiner, Laylee.
Is that 6? Because basically in GL they bumped up the waves by 3 waves.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't know if you're counting.
That would be 6.
Yes, so 6. So he should be coming on 4, which is the next wave.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yep, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because Cloud was supposed to be on 3. He came on.
Yes, I hear what you're saying.
So
yes,
if we were on schedule, Von should be coming next wave, but he's not.
Right.
So people are like, there's no way they're gonna
skip
there's no
Von.
They're like, they have to release him on a banner he's on, right? That's the assumption.
Got it.
So if he comes on LC, I won't be shocked. I just won't have gems to chase him.
Right.
And I've accepted that. I've accepted that as a personal loss for chasing Tidus EX so hard. If I miss Von, so be it. But that's the reasoning they try to peg it on the LC. So I'm saying, if you're a Von fan, save gems for Sunday, I guess. We'll know in 4 days.
Yeah.
So
so we do have the Lost Chapter launching, and on that banner will be Ash, Von, and Pinello. So that is a series synergy banner. We do have the New Year's Incursion on New Year's Eve here in the United States, 12/31. We do not know what that is. That will be some kind of co-op event. There may be banners, possibly a EX banner. So we'll find out next week. So hold on to your hats for there. Then we have Gilgamesh on the 6th. Then we have Awakening Part 4, which would be Edgar, Laguna, Preesh, Ramza, Vivi, and Sarah, with Zidane and Y'shtola EX on the 9th. And then likely Realm event on the 16th. And then, of course, in the hopper sometime in the next month, Cater, Aerith, Lion, Lost Chapters, and perhaps interlude with Cait Sith. So that's kind of our schedule of events coming up in some particular order, and then unsure order after the 16th. So, yeah.
We'll see. There's a wild theory floating around. So they announced a chapter in the Japanese version by surprise. I don't know if you've been following Japanese news, but they announced a new story chapter and Noelle, a new character. You know, the FF13-2 character,
yes,
Noelle.
Correct. Yes.
2 days before they launched.
Yeah.
So they're launching on the 27th. They announced it on Christmas Day.
Yep.
So, that's today. Yeah, anyway.
It's appropriate.
Anyways, yeah, so Yeah, I was saying that too. Not many people got the pun, but a lot of people are assuming that we might get a surprise release with Cait Sith in a similar fashion, very little heads up, and just a huge chapter drop, because I believe, according to the data miners, there is a patch scheduled for New Year's Eve. So I'm not saying Interlude and Cait Sith are coming, but just like Kreese recommends, maybe save until the New Year's incursion drops.
Yeah, I'm not
sure.
I'm not sure that there's so I mean if you're trying to so I mean I'm asking this self because I got a few tickets to spend here. So, you have till January 10th to draw on the Selphie banner. You have till New Year's Eve to draw on this weekly banner if you're interested. You have till January 3rd to draw on the Tidus and Cecil EX banners, right? So you don't necessarily need to, if you can wait, you might want to wait just to see what happens on New Year's Eve. Because what if Von EX drops on New Year's Eve? What if Cait Sith drops on New Year's Eve? Yeah, so you wanna necessarily be prepared. And if you're a gem sale kind of person, how long are the gem sales to? The gem
That's
sales.
a good question. Can you look it up? Because I already bought all the gem sales. So
yeah, the gem sales are till New Year's Eve. So
till New Year's Eve exactly?
Yep. Till so December 30th. Till December 31st, which would be New Year's Eve.
Wow.
7:59 UTC.
Wow.
So
exactly when the update hits. But maybe I'm gonna be optimistic and say that they'll give us another gem sale on New Year's Eve, because they usually give us a gem sale on seasonal events.
That gem sale is gonna end, and the moment it ends, Von EX, Cait Sith, Kuja EX. What else? Noel's gonna drop. We're not like what the hell is Noel doing? He's gonna be level 70. Like we won't even like what? He's just gonna come level 70. Everybody's gonna get him. Like what? If you spend enough gems, you have to spend 20,000 gems and you get Noel. So yeah, no, it's not gonna be like that, but. Yeah, no, Kreese says if we get Noel early, I will wail so hard on him. A lot of Noel fans, a lot of Final Fantasy 13
I don't
fans.
understand it, but more power to you.
So a lot of love for that game. I know there's a lot of people that enjoy. It seems like Final Fantasy 13-2 much more than Final Fantasy 13-3. And all I have to say is where's all the love for Dirge Cerberus? I think.
Holy crap! You're right. I forgot that. I keep forgetting that game exists.
I love that game. I don't know why nobody loves Dirge of Cerberus. That's a great game. Going around shooting gargoyles. That was a great game. I love that game. Anyway, so well, that's it. Mino, you have anything else to say to the folks? Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thank you for joining us as me and Mark struggle through this podcast without Pierre.
Yes, and Pierre will be joining us hopefully next week as we talk about New Year's Eve, as we talk about Ash event, as we talk about any other surprises that pump up. Remember, you can join us, generally speaking, Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. Central Time here in the United States. You can join us at www.twitch.tv, The Crystal Chronicles, or you can go on tccpodcast.com. That is our webcast, or you can follow us on Twitter at FFTCC or you can follow us on Facebook, FFTCC Podcast. Go to our website, tccpodcast.com. Get everything else. I hope you stream this. Hope you love this. Download the podcast if you miss it. We thank you all for being here. You have a great night, a happy Christmastide, a Merry Kwanzaa, good Boxing Day for all of our Canadian friends, and have a wonderful New Year's.